Alright, I am just going to go over some of the updates that I've done since I last did this little blog thing. I have no idea. Alright, so this is the main page, which has been slightly updated. It's mostly just this big dumb logo that I don't like, but I'm going to just leave it there until I can pay somebody to do it for me, I guess. I don't know. Whatever, we'll see. It'll probably be like 5 years later and it'll still look like that. I just added like a quick little blurb about the project and kind of like my ideas for it, which is free and open source. I also included a link to the license that just says, use this shit. Just say that I made it if you use it. Whatevs. And if you break it, whatever, your own problem. Okay. But my idea is that people could take this and change it however they want if they decide to use it. Not a big deal to me. I would just like people to have the option to use it if they want. And yeah. So then it's also modular, so feature rich, but enabling options or modules that you want. So the big complaint I hear or read about a lot is that LIMS softwares are just too complicated. There's too many options. People just want like some real basic shit or whatever. But I want the program to be able to grow with a growing lab or company or something like that. So the idea is kind of making tons of options, but making them all toggleable. You can turn the whole modules off. You can enable options you want, and I'll get into that a little bit later. And then just locally run. So I'm not worrying about any cloud stuff right now. Obviously that's new, big, and popular, but sometimes you just want shit locally. It's fast. You don't have to worry about weird connection issues and stuff. You don't have to worry about security as much. It just runs through your own local network, and you should already have all that stuff taken care of. I'll probably add some cloud stuff later, like cloud backups. I don't think cloud access would ever work. I don't know. We could do that maybe later. That's like far in the future. I'm not worried about that stuff right now. Right? And then I just have a kind of a screenshot of one of the older setup pages, where showing that you can like disable modules and disable features, and I'll get a little bit more into that later. In the old classic 90s, I should put like a little working guy with a shovel there. So then up at top here, I just have a link to this page, the license page, a link to the local server, a link to the GitHub. So this is where I've just been uploading all the code every so often. So I just did 10 minutes ago. I finished the departments and team modules, and yeah, that's where people could take it, fork it if they want, maybe contribute to it. I don't actually know how GitHub works that much. I've never like been part of a huge like repository, just kind of local work stuff and my own stuff. So and then link to a YouTube page, which I don't know. Oh, look, it shows me right there. Okay. And that's it. So the main thing here that we'll be going over is the local Pylims server. So when you click this, it opens up this URL, local.pylims.com. And the only thing that this does is point to your own local server. And I can explain more about that later, but this is running on a machine on my house. If you click this link, it'll probably go to nothing because you don't have a server set up. It'll just error out. It just won't go to anything. It'll say like can't reach or whatever, when a web page doesn't work. Because all it's doing is looking on my own network for an IP address. And I can go a little bit more into that later, but basically I'll drag over my console window here. Whoop. So every time, actually, I don't know how to make this stick up top, so let's make this a little smaller. So when I go to a web page, whoop, you can see it's loading up stuff there. Right, log out. Do you want to log out? No, I don't. So this is all running on a local machine that so you can see it says the local IP 127.0.0.1. So that's all happening here in my house, and the idea is that people will set up their own little Linux workstations and run this code on there. So basically like a web server, but it could just be whatever computer. And yeah, so sorry, tired. Let me get into some of the features. So the first thing that I will show you is the setup page. Actually, there, I'll refresh it. It's a little old. So the setup page works on, you have your modules. So modules have, actually, you know what, let me go a little bit deeper first. 1 second. So let's go here. And can I like shrink this or something? It doesn't matter, I guess. Alright. So in Pylims source, there's a modules folder, and the modules folders are where you put modules. And the idea here is that each module folder is one module, and each module can have one active at a time. And so the idea is that if you want to install a new module, you just drag it into the correct folder, or I'll probably make like a whole like little module portal at some point in the future, but for a while all you'll do is drag it into the folder, and then you'll be able to change through them. I'm not explaining it very well at all, but I'll kind of show you here. So for my account creation, if I open up this module, I can see that I have a few different options. I have disabled. So disabled just means that it doesn't work. So if I go to account creation, it disables. And what that means now, let's log out real quick. Cool. So you see there's no account creation button here anymore. If I go back to setup and enable account creation, save setup, now I go back to my Pylims server. Now it has a create account button. So this is just the idea, is that you can enable and disable these modules. Like, of course, create account is probably something you want, but maybe people want to turn it off. I don't know. Maybe you don't want people to be able to create an account. Maybe you want an admin to create them an account, you know, things like that. Yeah, and so continuing that, so if you look in here, actually, let me go back here to account creation. So I have this other one here that is disable display message. So maybe you don't want it to just be disabled. You want to disable it and display some sort of message. I actually haven't worked on that really since it's still 0.0. But you could save that setup, and then whatever it is, oh yeah, it's going to be broken because it's not even working. Oh no, I broke everything. That's awesome. So let's actually go back in and change that. I'm just going to change that to disabled, and that should fix everything. There we go. Okay. So yeah, obviously that's not good, but that's because that module doesn't actually work. I just kind of put it in there. So the idea here would be that if you wanted a new module, say you download one, or even you want to develop one yourself, you know, you could make a new module. And now when I refresh the page, you see that, oh, it's not there because I haven't, it's there, but I haven't changed the data. So let's go inside here and let's look at this manifest file. So a manifest file just has the information about the module. So type, this is kind of all stuff for the future probably, I don't know, or maybe it's pointless. But anyways, it goes into the account creation folder. This will help organize it later when I have a mod portal. Name, contact. Authentication is when this will show up. When this module will be active, and so this allows people to, if you don't want somebody to see your module when they're not logged in, you can set that. Scripts are Python scripts that'll be available and loaded up by Pylims when the module is activated, so that will give you access to all those Python functions and that you can call from your pages. Default template is just which one of these is your default, so that way when you navigate to the module without specifying a template, that's the one that loads up. Templates are just HTML pages, different things that you can link to and whatnot that'll be loaded up in Django without having to go in and actually like change Django around too much actually at all. This is all handled for you. What do we call this? Like cool new account. And now I think when I refresh this, account creation, yeah, so cool new account. Right there we could enable it. And this is all stuff for later, 4.5. See, we could refresh it. Now all of a sudden it's, you know, cool new account version 4.5. So this will just be useful later, again, when that mod portal's up and working. And then you can specify a bunch of like setup options, things that you want your module to have. So for instance, here in my cool new account, when people create an account, like what kind of information do I want them to have to specify? And so, you know, if you want to be, that'd be impossible. I haven't done it. I don't do sanity checks yet, too many of them. But the idea is like, so you might want them to have to specify a username, like maybe their first initial last name or something, their email address, their first name, mid initial last name. You can turn password off so they can just create an account. Maybe you don't want a secure thing, or you just have like a lab or something. I don't know. Again, this is just like, I don't want to try to think of every single use case. I'm just kind of providing the options. And then something like if you want your password to have to be complex, right? Like long and characters and all that stuff, or if you just want the lower security, whatever. Again, just giving people the options. And this is just a default module. People could create other options. So, you know, we could create a new option here. Then this is just a true-false option, but you could say, you know, whatever you want to call it, like auto login, or I have no idea. And you can set the, you know, default value. Then when you go ahead and reload this up, you can see that now the, uh-oh, I broke something. Oh, I didn't put a comma there. So at some point I need to put a manifest like validator in. And right now I don't have that. It just says it's broken. But anyways, so if I went to my cool new account, I see I have a new password or a new option here. And the idea is that you can just change these options at however you want, and then save your setup. So right now my account creation is set to cool new account, which is basically the exact same as my last one. So now you can see that create account is working again. So let's go ahead and click that. So here's all the options that I said I wanted. Maybe I want to change my mind, and I'm gonna go back here and just disable all that and say just give me a username, or just give me an email. All right, save setup. Go back to local, create account. Cool. Now it's just email and password. And this just works like normal. So say I want to say person 1, create account. Oh, password not valid. Okay, better create password. Oh, email's not valid. cool, I created an account. Does nothing after this. So then I'd want to log in. Oh man, I have no idea what I did. Was a person at 123.com? Person 1? Oh, cool. There we go. No, I don't want to save that password. Alright, so now I'm logged in. And so this is where, kind of some of that other stuff now, you no longer see the login and account creation things. Although if we came back here and we changed this to logged in and saved it, you know, now you can see the account creation. So it's just stuff like that, just really easy. The whole point of this is kind of to make it easy to like make your own modules and add to it without having to know too much stuff about kind of the underlying thing, just kind of creating some scripts and pages and things like that. So I haven't got too much of it done. I spent a lot of time on the back end of getting this all to work, because this is all working with Django and kind of in this dynamic environment where you create these manifest files and these folders, and they're all automatically loaded up by the server on a as needed basis. And so what actually happens is when I can pull it over here, is when you click Save Setup, it actually resets the server, reloads back up all of the modules that are currently enabled, and so there I disabled account creation, so now it says it's disabled. And so for all the ones that are actually enabled, that's when it loads up all those Python scripts, builds all the URLs and all the links and all that stuff, so you don't have to think about it. So I'm going to put it back onto that. Options, okay. Save setup. And so you can see that it changes based on what is. So here, cool new account is saying that's the thing. But anyway, let's go back. Just keep it on that. So again, every time you save your setup, it just kind of reboots the server. It's really quick. It does warn you that it will be a real quick server reboot. I don't know, hopefully in the future I'll kind of deal with that maybe a little bit more elegantly. But so far that's the best way that I can think of doing that, because you actually have to load up all these new Python scripts and get rid of all the old ones. So let's see, what am I doing here? How long has this video been going? I don't want to go too long. 18 minutes, okay. So going back now to this page, so you log in. Some links are up top. I don't know, I'll do some other stuff later with this. It's just kind of placeholdery for now. But what I've worked on, maybe I'll pull up my sweet overall plan. Right, so we talked about this in my last live stream. The idea is to have, you know, this kind of organization, like institution kind of overall level thing, different departments, and then within those different departments you have a bunch of different teams, and then within teams you have individuals and projects. So different teams own different projects. And so I have completed these three-ish. Sorry, they're completed enough for me to like kind of move on. As I completed them, I thought, oh, maybe I should do this in a different way, but I'm going to continue to keep going, because the whole idea here is I'm just making kind of these default simple modules that can be replaced at any time. I can upgrade them later with a different version or just a whole new module to give people more options. So right now they're pretty simple. And then individuals kind of in, since, you know, there's account creation and things like that, but I'll eventually do like profiles and dashboards and stuff later. So I kind of colored it yellow because it's kind of in there. So the next thing I'm going to work on is projects. So the ability of somebody to create a project and assign it to either a team, a department, or an organization. Actually, so yeah, department can own a project too. And then you could have different teams from different departments working on it, things like that. So that's why I needed to get all this stuff in first, because who owns the project will matter. So this is my next goal right here, projects, yay. And yeah, so that's where we are so far. Does not look very green. This is a huge project. Kind of regretting doing it already, but it's been fun. So, and maybe it'll go faster later. No. Maybe somebody will come help me. Anyway, so give me that of mine. We have our. Oh my god. I have not seen this before. Well, that sucks. But now we can, let's see. Unnamed portal parameter 1. This was just working a little bit ago, so I have no idea what's going on. I might have screwed something up. Organization, teams, departments. Okay. That's very weird. The organizations is broken. Did I click something? The organizations mod itself seems to be broken. Oh, because I'm logged in as some random user and I haven't done that in a while. So let me actually log back into my root account. Okay, that's what was broken. So I haven't done that. That's for later. I need to actually make sure that everything is loaded up correctly. But I obviously did not do that, so it's still a work in progress. So the idea here is that you have a default, or a company, or an organization, or a lab, or whatever kind of the head thing is. And then you have your kind of departments or groups or whatever you want to call that. And then there you have teams, which could be, like a project team or kind of a sub-department type thing, or, whatever. However people want to organize this. And I'll probably let people change what these are called, but that's what I'm calling them for now. And yeah, so... oh yeah, that's right, I broke this and I haven't fixed it. So let's go back to organization. So this is currently pretty broken, but the idea here is you could click an institution and you'd be able to see information. So maybe you want to put stuff like a wiki link or your HR links, I don't know, whatever you want to put in there. A picture of the company dog or whatever. Same with departments. You click it and you'd be able to put stuff in there. So right now I just put in some random gobbledygook. But let's go ahead and so I have these admin links and I need to make them better because I need to make it so if you're actually on a department and you click edit, you edit that department. But right now you have to select which one, and then it's very simple so far. I have no idea. Images is just very quick drag and drop. You can do SVGs, you can do PNGs, whatever, it doesn't really matter. All gets converted to base 64 and saved in the database. So yep, so there's that. So now if I wanted to go back to organizations now, goal, I probably need to make it so that respects the new lines. Lots of little things to do still, but you can kind of see the general flow of it. And then teams, which are in departments, so you can kind of follow these breadcrumbs back. Eventually I'll list the actual teams here as well. the idea is too is that different departments can have different members. So this is why it was crashing, because person one wasn't in any organizations or departments, and I haven't been in an account that wasn't actually a member for a while. So I need to get to that, because all the departments, teams, organizations, stuff have kind of different rules for who can view them. Yeah. Anyways, and organization. Oh, that's right. That's broken. I gotta fix that. Change something. But same thing. Teams you can edit or you can assign people. Oh, that's fun. Oh, there's no teams in there. That's right. Assign. So here you can assign people to teams. So people can be members of multiple teams, of multiple departments. It kind of just depends. So, if you have like different working groups or whatever, and you want to add multiple people to them, I'm not going to control any of that stuff. That's up to other people. Yeah, so that's basically what I have now. And the whole idea of it is to be really fast and customizable. So these are going to be very basic examples that you can kind of get away with, and then either other people or I will develop more complicated and more robust things later. But there's obviously a lot of bugs in this still. I just kind of wanted to make a video since I have not done it in a while, just kind of keep myself motivated. And yeah, so that's what I have so far. And luckily nobody is watching this, so I don't have to actually answer any questions or anything. And yeah, so yeah, keep making this and keep checking back, and hopefully soon in the future it'll be something that people actually want to install and implement in their labs or companies. So I think that would be really fun. And I'm going to go to sleep now. Alright, good night.